Hey everyone, and welcome to another Wednesday morning drive. It's Matt Cribbs here, and I forgot to say that at the beginning. I'm tired, forgive me. It's been a long week, and a lot of stuff has happened. Had a bunch of stuff going on at work with systems going down and things breaking and unplanned events that caused a lot of work that was supposed to be done to be delayed, so I was a little busy with that, and blah, 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 very busy. That's a summary. But then also, Ryotcraft had a UHC on that came out this week, and we did that on Saturday night, my time, or early Sunday morning, and in order to get all our international friends and everyone coordinated to do this, the best time that worked out for us was 4 o'clock in the morning, my time. So wow. Yeah, I had stayed up and watched a movie, The Big Short, by the way. Great movie, amazing movie about the whole mortgage crisis, meltdown, subprime, blah, blah, blah. Really, these are complicated things, but it was real. They did a really great job explaining it, as everyone who talks about it will say. It's a very good movie, and it was very frustrating for me because I lived through a lot of that. I worked at Lehman Brothers before they collapsed, and I didn't know any of the people actually covered in the movie, but I knew people just like that. So, and if you watch it, you'll learn that some of the people, or many of the people in that movie, are not the nicest people in the world. So it brought back some not so pleasant memories. But hey, it was what it was. So stayed up and watched that. It was up till 12:30 at night. And they blocked off the road again. That's where I drive. You guys are killing me, construction people. Anyway, so small detour. So yeah, it was up till 12:30 at night. Went to bed. Set my alarm for 3 o'clock in the morning. 3:30 in the morning. Got up and then moved down to the couch. And then my phone went off at 4:03 with Shay saying, "Wake up!" On Skype beeps. So anyway, I got up, made it on time. We all had a great time. It was awesome. Episode 1s are out. Yes, I did not survive episode 1. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've watched that video, and so it's not a spoiler. But if you didn't, that was a spoiler, which I guess I'm supposed to say first, but oops. So yeah, I was with Shrimp Taco, who's a great guy, new to Ryotcraft, newish to Ryotcraft, but putting out good stuff. Go check out all of his stuff. Check out our videos. He went on his own. You have to watch his videos to see what happens for the next of it. It kicks you into spectator mode when you die, and we've been talking about it. I'm actually going to continue posting the videos. And as people fall out of the game, they join me in spectator mode. I think at the end of the game, everyone who was not alive had jumped in, and we're all on a call together, chatting. So we're commentating on the rest of the people who are still alive doing that. And that was almost more fun than playing it. So check out my videos after you watch the people who are still in the game. And I'll put a big note on my video that says that. They're coming out every other day, which means tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern, there'll be another episode out. Check out everyone who is still alive, which is everyone besides me, and then come check out my video, and you can see what's going on and get a kind of a big picture view. I think it's pretty cool. So that's that. And we were up from, I think it went from like 4 when we started, had a little bit of technical difficulty getting going, and I think I was done like at 6:30 a.m., at which point the family wakes up, and so, yeah. I was fine on Monday. Tuesday, I was starting to drag a little bit, and then today, I'm just, I'm just exhausted. Because not only did I stay up that night, I'm also was up late last night doing some editing for a surprise episode of Lineage 2 coming out this afternoon, which is going to be awesome. I had to release this episode so that I could catch up for my full episode. This one's actually it's 40 minutes long-ish or something, so it's a full-on episode. And I have a surprise special guest who joins me halfway through the episode. If you've watched anything or paid attention, you know exactly who that is, so it's not really a surprise. But it's good. But we have a big collab coming up this weekend. Coming out. It will be awesome. It was a lot of fun to do. And in order to get that on sync, I was an episode behind on my release schedule. So I'm having a catch-up episode this Wednesday, or today, this Wednesday. See, this is how tired I am. Today, where we get in sync, and it'll be awesome. So check it out. It's coming out. And then I have another UHC episode to record. I mean, not record, to edit. I only edited the one, and still catching up on work from the stuff that I didn't get to do last week. So that pretty much summarizes where my head is right now. There's no planning. There's no thinking. There's no, well, I have to do A, and then I have to do B. It's more like my brain is going, and then I have to go and do stuff, and I don't know, and do it. Because it's, broken? I don't know. I'm not broken yet. I'm just temporarily overwhelmed. It's under-functioning. It's where I'm at. So it's all good. It's all good. We'll catch up. The funny thing is, it's kind of like, yes, I'm exhausted, and yes, things went horribly wrong, and yes, there's a lot of good stuff coming out content-wise, and just crazy mile a minute, but it's invigorating too, because it's a lot of good stuff. So I'm excited about that. And it's stuff I love. You know, I really love my job, and I love my making these videos and talking with you, and my hobby, I guess you would call it. And I'm lucky with that. I really I only do things I enjoy. Well, I don't enjoy taking out the trash, and that has to be done. But I spent a lot of time trying to get my life in a place where I could actually spend it doing the things I wanted to do, and that's awesome. That's great. Everyone should strive for that. If you have one goal, it's be able to do the things you want to do, and then everything else follows that. So, and actually, it's spring break for Little McRibs 2.0. He was on spring break, and he came to work with me yesterday, which was, I guess it's a hot spring break destination. I don't know. But he said he had a lot of fun, so awesome. And we were talking on the drive in about, you know, work and why I do what I do and those things. And I think I touched on this on the why do I YouTube episode of Wednesday Morning Drive, but we talked about you know, doing what you love. And you know, there was a bit of advice that I heard years ago. I think I heard or read, or I don't know. I actually don't know where I picked it up. But it's something I try to live by, and that's, you know, like what you do, but, you know, love your hobbies, and like your job. How's it go? Like your job and love your hobbies. It really, I think, makes a lot of sense as a way to live your life. Like, you have to like your job, and you spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, if you have one of those kind of jobs. If you don't have one of those kinds of jobs, you still spend that time or more. I mean, we spend a lot of our lives at our jobs. That's the way it goes. And if you don't like it, it means you're working just so you're spending all that time doing something you don't enjoy, just so you can spend that little bit of time living your real life. And that makes no sense. Like, work is a part of your life. It is maybe the biggest part of your life, time-wise. And so if you don't like it, you're doing the wrong thing. And yes, sometimes you don't have that luxury. But if you have any say in it, like your job. It makes it so much better. Why don't I say love your job? Why shouldn't your job be what you're most passionate about? And you know what? Maybe it can be, but maybe it can be a part of it. But I don't really think that works out. So no matter what you're passionate about, no matter what you really, really love in life, as soon as it becomes something that you have to do in order to buy food and pay your rent or pay your mortgage, it becomes something that you have to do no matter what. And that dulls some of the love. And no matter what you do, there are parts of it that are not your favorite. And those parts of it, if it's your job, you still have to do. And that, kind of dulls some of the love a little bit. Take cooking. There's a lot of people that really, really love to cook. And that's awesome. If you love to cook, cook away. But should you own a restaurant? I don't know, or maybe not own a restaurant, be a cook in a restaurant. I don't know. Because, the enjoyment of preparing a meal and the presentation of it is a small part of owning a restaurant. If you own a restaurant, you have to worry about inventory management, staff management, advertising, physical space and maintenance and cleanliness and, all these other things that are involved in actually, running a restaurant or cooking for your job, or, in the furthest sense of the word. Yeah, I suppose you could be a cook at a, big, restaurant and have other people handle those things for you. But let's talk, an extreme case of that, where you take your passion and you do everything about it to make it your job. So it's like your one-man show. I really, really don't think there are a lot of people out there. Maybe there's very, very lucky people whose passions are actually running a restaurant and everything that entails, or whatever it is. And we'll use that as the example. There might be people out there, but I would think they might be a minority compared to the people that love one aspect of the job. And so finding a job that you need to do for the payment that actually lines up to the specific parts of an activity that is your passion, I think is very, very vanishingly rare. More power to you if you can find that, but maybe this is where my pessimism or realism comes in, very, very vanishingly rare. If your passion is cooking and you get a job, there's going to be a part of it that is not aligned with your passions. And that, I think that will not only, dull your passion a little bit, but, cause a seed of resentment in there against the job. And, if you're doing it for something for a hobby, that pressure is much, much less. We have people at work whose job it is to create videos for our publications. And you know what? I love making videos. I love everything about it. I love the talking. I love the editing. I like that process. But would I want that to be my job? I really don't think so. One, when I love the creation. I love this filming part. I love sitting down. I love the editing. I love, all of that around it. But if your job is actually editing a video, there's very little control of the subject matter you get to make. Would I want to be a filmmaker? I don't know, because it's that's a whole different set of challenges you have to make with all the different people involved. So what about, doing this video thing full time? Well, one, that's very, very difficult to make in a market right now. There's not a lot of job potential in there. It's a huge challenge to do. But the other thing is, as soon as, doing this becomes something I must do to pay my rent, that's a very different proposition, right? Like, if I don't want to do something one day, fine. You guys might be disappointed. I might be disappointed. I'm pushing myself because I want to do it, because I want to. But if it's on the rent, then the motivation becomes because I have to. And have to and want to are two very different emotional states. And I think, you know, your hobbies, what you really, really enjoy doing all the time, should be driven from want, not from have to. So, you know, that's why I say love your hobby, but only like your job. And the other factor that comes into it is if you love your job, if you're doing what you're most passionate about in life full time, all the time, then what do you do for fun? Because, you know, everyone needs downtime, and no activity, if you do it, is going to be something you want to do all the time. And so if you have chosen, or if you are in a position where you are doing for a job what you love the most of the time, then good parts and bad parts, half stews and one stews, then what do you want to do? What do you do when you just want to sit back and do something purely selfish and something purely for fun and enjoyment? That's something that's always, you know, part of why I think that it's good to have that escape, that passion, that fun thing that is your hobby that you do for pure want and desire, and not as a living and sustenance and all of that. So, you know, all those things I think combine, and I don't think any one of those arguments is a strong enough reason to adopt the, you know, like your job, love your hobby philosophy. I don't think it is. If it was only one of those factors, sure, make what you do for pay your most passionate thing. But when you think about the whole picture of, you know, why do we do the things we do? What do we do when we're not doing the things we love? How does it interact with, you know, our basic needs? How do we interact with other people? When you put all of those together, I think it's a really compelling case to hold something that you love and keep it for yourself. Do it purely for yourself, and not anyone else. Because if you're doing a job, fundamentally, you're doing something for someone else, the person who pays you. So that's that was what we were talking about. Like I said, I think I covered it a little bit before, but never this specific aspect of it. And as we were talking, you know, 2.0 had said that, you know, you should really talk about that, Dad. So I said, okay, sure. And so I did. And maybe I should have said that before I was talking. But again, 3 hours sleep, 2 days ago. So that's where I'm at. And hope that was interesting. Anyway, I will see you guys back on video form this afternoon for some Lineage 2. And we'll be back here in the car next week. There will be another UHC coming out tomorrow afternoon. And then coming up in between, before the weekend, is a new episode of Ryotcraft. Looking really forward to that. The pack is becoming super excellent. A lot of mods coming in. Stability is pretty good. And awesome stuff there. We actually had to reset the world because of some mod removals and stuff had left behind bad things, and just it was no one had made enough progress that it was going to be a total disaster if we had done that. It might happen again. We really, really hope not. But, you know, we're balancing. We want to put out something that is fun to watch and fun to play, and we're going to balance, you know, having to do a boatload of off-camera work to kind of catch up if we have to do a reset versus, you know, nagging things that make play not so fun without it as we go. So, you know, anyway, looking forward to doing that. I think it'll be awesome. It's a really, really great pack. Go check it out. It's on the Technic launcher. I think it's public right now. I believe it is, which is why we're using Map Writer and not Journey Map, because check out Twitter if you want to know the story behind that. So I will talk to you guys later. Always keep playing. Bye. Move, person. Thank you. Bye. Oh, wait. Garage. Can't turn it off while I'm turning. All right. Bye now.